What is up, guys? This is Cookboy J here, bringing you guys this Destiny 2 PC beta gameplay. I'm gonna be telling you guys how this game runs and my thoughts on how the developers changed the game from Destiny 1 until this game, and the little changes and how the game runs. So I'm playing on the PC. I got this game running on maxed out settings on everything, and I mean, it's really good. I mean, going from playing 30 FPS for like 2 years and then playing this game on 1080p 60 ultra everything, it's just like fucking amazing. Like, this game just runs well. Playing this game on keyboard and mouse feels seamless, especially with the way they set up the key bindings on default. It just feels great. I mean, I seen somebody switch the WASD to SZXC, which, if you have a keyboard in front of you and you can just look at that key binding and just see how you can move with that, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I'll feel jumbled. My fingers will feel jumbled up because my thumb is on the space bar, but it feels too close to my other fingers. Like, I feel like I was just like fat finger too much shit. I don't know, but when my friend was playing this on my laptop, he felt fairly comfortable with it. So I guess, I guess it's whatever. He does what he wants to fucking do. I'm not gonna judge, but the game runs well. I like playing the game on keyboard. The game visually looks stunning. It's one of the better looking games I've played on PC besides like Battlefield and shit like that. And Overwatch. Overwatch looks amazing too on Ultra, but the gameplay plays really good. The thing is that since it feels familiar to Destiny 1, a lot of people are gonna judge it and say, hey, it's just a copy and paste game, which it isn't a copy and paste game, which I don't fucking get why people are, before the beta, were bitching about it, and then they played it and they like, oh, it's the most amazing fucking thing, but it's a man. Like, shut the fuck up. You guys are fucking hypocrites, because it's a game. I forgot who it was. Polygon says the game feels familiar, which is both good and bad, and I agree with that. The game looks and feels familiar to Destiny 1. Now, here's the good thing about it. You get to bring the people who played the first game back to this game, and it just feels seamless. Like me, the game feels seamless. I already know what the fuck the game's about. Like, I know what I'm gonna do. I just have to get used to new weapons and new abilities. Bam, there we go. Find out the meta of the game easily. But the bad thing about it is that, like, because it feels familiar and you're adding these new things, certain things just doesn't really have its place in the game. Like grenade launchers. Grenade launchers just feel like a shitty fucking it feels like a shitty rocket launcher, honestly. Like, I'm over here using it and it's like, okay, like, I'm not melting my enemies like I would with a fucking rocket launcher. Like, rocket launchers practically one-shotted the weaker enemies, and like, you're going up against these Cabal enemies with fucking looking like they about to chop up some fucking meat in the back of a Chinese restaurant with their butcher knives and shit like that. You got these motherfuckers that are strong as shit, that needs to get nerfed. Holy god, you don't understand how annoying those dudes are. Plus the war beast coming at you at the same time. Holy, where the fuck is Helm of Say 14 and the bubble when you need that shit? I mean, of every freaking subclass they could have brought back for the Titan, you bring back the Striker class? Are you serious? You bring back that class, one of the most abused subclasses in PvP that everybody bitched about in the first game and said, oh my god, Titans are OP, and you bring that shit back. Okay, understandable. But then you bring back the Hunter's Golden Gun. 6 shots. Everybody before the beta, oh my god, 6 shots? But it's a decreased cooldown time. Alright, it's not gonna last as long. You can only get off like 2 shots with that shit, from what I heard from other people. So why would you give it 6 shots? Why not just make it the same shit from the fucking first game? Honestly, like, yeah, you changed the Striker subclass super, which is pretty interesting. Like, it's a fucking truck people like in the NFL and fucking slam like 3 or 4 times that you're gonna see me do in this gameplay. But It's like, holy lord, just make it the same thing. Nobody fucking cares. Or just make it 4 shots. Like, not 6, but I can't get off 6 because it's a shitty super in this game. Another thing, you know, I didn't like the fact that they put snipers as heavies. Whose idea was that? Honestly, like, okay, you put in SMGs, you put in these new weapons into the game, which is really good up close, but somewhat not. It feels like an auto rifle, but just with faster fire rate. I mean, what was the point of adding SMGs to the game when I have auto rifles? Why not just make auto rifles somewhat like they were inside year 1 of Destiny, where they were fairly powerful and have the mobility? And I don't know, man. It's just like, it's weird. Like, it feels redundant to me, honestly, because inside D1, auto rifles were the guns to use up close. Now it feels like auto rifles don't have a place in this game. Just like grenade launchers don't have a place in this game. Because it feels like a dumbed down rocket launcher that doesn't do shit. Okay, that's the first thing. 2, why is sniper rifles heavies? Inside Destiny 1, people understood that fucking auto rifles wasn't good to do DPS with against bosses and strikes and raids. Even any primary. Who used primaries besides like Outbreak Prime or some shit against bosses to DPS? Like, it's just retarded. Like, if you wanted to do the maximum DPS to a boss, especially inside of a fucking raid, because ain't nobody using some dumbass primary unless it was Outbreak Prime inside Wrath of the Machine. Nobody was really using primaries against bosses unless they ran out of ammo. They were using sniper rifles and rocket launchers and shit like that. And with the exception of Wrath of the Machine, a fucking sword. But other than that, like, I don't see the point. Why would you make that as a heavy and make it the most scarce weapon to use now? It should have just stayed as a secondary, or shit, make it a primary, and make it a primary, right, with limited ammo, just like smaller clip sizes and shit like that, like fucking like 10 bullets. Every sniper across the board can hold like 10 or 9 bullets. There you go, and then have the SMG in your back. Like, why? So now it's gonna be like a grind to kill bosses now. Especially when you hit up the raid. I could just imagine it now. When we hit up a raid and it's like hard to kill a boss. Unless they bring back unless they make some super good exotic weapons. Like some super good exotic primary scout rifles and shit like that. That can, you know, deal DPS really well with some good perks in it, like an Outbreak Prime. I don't see raids being relatively easy to do after you master the mechanics of the raid, and strikes as well. It's just going to be way too time consuming, which that's something people don't have the luxury as when they get older. It's just the time to put into games. I mean, that's why I like Roll the Glass, and that's why I like Crota's End. It's because it wasn't time consuming. Once you mastered that raid, bam, you just ran through that shit like it was nothing. Honestly, especially if you had a really good fire team. And then, you know, I don't mind the complexity of a King's Fall and a Wrath of the Machine, because it's practically the same case, but there's no more room for error inside those raids, unlike the older raids. So I don't know. They need to find the balancing with weapons and being able to deal with DPS inside PvE. This is just the beta. We don't know. Hopefully, they find something. Hopefully, we find something inside the base game when that game comes out. That's gonna be really good. Other than that, I just don't know. But a lot of people were saying SMGs are useless. Cooldowns. Oh man, don't get me started on the cooldowns. It feels like it takes me 3 minutes to get a grenade. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand why the cooldowns take way too damn long to get. Like, why? whose idea was that? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't understand. Grenade cooldowns just feel like they take like 3 minutes, and it's just the biggest, like, most rage-inducing thing in the world, because like that was a major thing inside the first one that like somewhat dictated pacing inside the PvP side of things, because like it was so essential to be able to recharge your grenades and your melee abilities inside PvP, because they deal so much damage. And it's like, holy shit, I get to recharge my shoulder charge, or I get to recharge my landing grenade on my skip grenades, whatever grenades you're using, you get to recharge it, and it's like the biggest part of the meta. I don't know. Someone said that the sniper rifles feel unintuitive. That's a perfect word to use for it. It does feel like that. Power ammo is weird too scarce. Hunters feel like it's the worst class in the game. Now, I'm not gonna talk about hunters. I've only played hunter for a little bit. There's plenty of videos. I've seen this lately. Like, people are just going off on the hunter subclass. On both of them, Golden Gun and the newer one, the Arc Strider, whatever that shit is. Just people just like are going off on it and saying it's bad. Me, I like the Arc Strider, but people are saying it's bad. I mean, when I just don't understand. Where's the drop off? I mean, now I went off on the Golden Gun class for sure, but like people are going in depth. Like, definitely look up those videos, man. Like, people are just like shitting on the hunter, which is crazy. It's insane. Like, it's not that I don't disagree with it, but I'm like, how? I'm like, how? And like they did bringing up all their points. I'm like, that's insane. Like, how did the hunters like was so good inside the first game, and then become so bad in the second game? I don't know. People are saying that in the Warlock, at least with the first game, like the Warlock found its place in certain situations. I mean, it wasn't my most played character. It's my least played character. But I like playing as a Warlock inside D1, and people are saying the Warlock feels way better inside D2. The worst thing about the Warlock inside Destiny 1 was the jump. It was too slow, and even if you had the faster glide, it just felt really bad. But I felt like they had really good supers and really good abilities. If not, they were very effective inside D1. But people were saying they're way better inside this game, which it was needed. It was needed. But I just can't wait to play the actual full game to see how like I don't know, like I just can't wait, because like people were saying like the game needs more. I'm like, we're playing the beta. This is beta. It's practically a demo. It's a very small sample size of what we're getting from the full game, because like the full game's supposed to have way more shit. Of course, like it's a fucking beta. They're gonna give you one strike, a couple maps to play PvP on, and that's it. But we gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see and see what's gonna happen with the full game, and then judge Destiny 2. From when we're all done raiding and strikes and shit like that, judge the game after like a couple months. I'll say after like a good 4 to 5 months is like a good time to judge the game, because you're not gonna be able to judge the game after the first week. You can't review a game like this after 1 week of playing it, because you haven't gone through all the fucking content. Yeah, you beat the story missions, but you still got endgame. And like half these people who reviewed the first game after like a week, it was retarded. Even after like a couple days, I'm like, how are you putting out a review of this game, and how are you gonna bash this game when you haven't even gone through it yet? It's like, yeah, it didn't have all the content in it in the base game of the first one, but there was still shit to do. That's what people don't understand. I'm like, I hope it's not this way with this game. Cause they promised a lot of shit. And if we don't get like half the shit that we promised, then everybody has a right to like just rage. But right now they're just in like the process of balancing out the game right before release. But this is pretty much it for the video, guys. Leave your thoughts on the game, and yeah, I'm out, guys. Peace.
Well done. Failsafe, what's your assessment of this incident?
Vex records indicate the Cabal discovered the mine and dug into this world to capture it. Had the Red Legion achieved their goal, I estimate a 60% chance this planetoid would have been destroyed in the ensuing battle. Luckily, the captain stepped in.
Huzzah!